Should be doing house calls.
Well, she will. What's up, YouTube? I'm Marius USMC Vet, Poison Stinger. Say
Good
hi.
morning.
So today we're talking about how bad is it? And by how bad is it, we're talking about Corona without the Lyme. Hawaii Volcano Squad's first one in the house at 8:56 a.m. morning. Aloha. And he's not watching because I don't see any people up here. So while we're waiting,
I'm just getting my stuff set up, so give me a sec.
we'll just two people in. Good morning. I'm working on shipping stuff today, so getting some packages out.
So I heard, as I was telling you off air, I heard a pretty interesting take from a YouTuber I watch, who's, one of the conspiracy peoples. Well, he's not really too much. He's more of a Watch the Cops and Freedom channel. But he's thinking, and I don't think I agree with this. In fact, I'm pretty sure I don't agree with it. But he thinks that the coronavirus is actually being overhyped, that it's much less severe than they report, and that this is just going to be a false flag or a reason to go to a paperless currency because it can live for however long outside of the human body, and we all use cash. Which I don't really know if I agree with that. But at the same time, I can see why he would come up with that because, yeah, not having cash anymore, you get taxed for everything. They know where every penny that you spend goes if you get rid of cash. I mean, would they like to get rid of cash? Probably.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's been on their agenda for years and years and years and years. Because once you get under the electronic system completely, there's nothing you can do to hide what you're doing. So
I just thought it was an interesting take that I'd bring up. I think that, well, he was referencing that you wouldn't even be able to go to a yard sale anymore with cash. And that's when I started thinking, yeah, I don't know if I buy into this because that would be pissing off a lot of people because a lot of people love going to yard sales. And if you're going to do that, then everybody is going to have a system in place to take payments on their phone. And a lot of people don't know how to use it. Right now you still have to have a card reader. I mean, eventually I'm sure they could make it where all you have to do is touch your phones or whatever, but I think that's more of a niche thing right now and not widely used. So it's in my opinion that they're not ready to put that into production just yet.
sorry, I'm going back here into the...
Apparently the World Health Organization was blaming paper currency for spreading the virus 2 weeks ago. So that's probably why he was on that tangent for sure.
Well, if that's the case, then we need to shut down all restaurants and everything because as soon as you hand that card through the window, how many cards has that lady touched or that man touched that came through the window? And if it stays on plastic for 9 hours... So, since we're on the topic of that, this is the new payment acceptor.
Oh.
You could touch, you could slide. I don't want to give away my... But you could slide a card, do it like that, or you can just touch the card. And this is the new payment option that if you deal with PayPal or... I forgot all the other places that we deal with for accepting cards, but this right here is what they give you now. This is where it used to go on the top of your phone and had to be a swiper. This does both. Cool. It almost looks like It almost looks like a pager.
Almost.
But I can always accept payments through this. And like I said, I can't remember the other three. But you want to have 3 or 4 different payment exception payments, especially with PayPal. Because if somebody gives you a chargeback, man, they'll shut you down quicker than shit. So I posted up the official rigged coronavirus count at 9:16, so I could repost that. Or can you see that in the chat? Thumbs up there, Russell Stovers. Chocolate candies.
You sure are a sweet tooth, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I love chocolate. I like Fannie Mae, too, but Russell Stovers is closer.
I like May's Fanny. Bad joke, but it was just sitting there.
Well, I was curious if it was the wife's middle name.
No. But she's okay with it.
What's my middle name?
Lovey.
Gonna get slapped before she goes to work.
Maybe.
No cash will allow total control through credit and bank system. For instance, banks could ban transactions with. Yeah. Well, they're already doing that.
Nope.
So we don't sell guns, but we sell gun parts and stuff like that, and anything. Some of the like PayPal won't accept them. They'll turn some of the transactions back if they can correlate. I mean, even with a magazine flake or a shingle that goes on a it depends on how you word it. If you put M16, AR-15 in the title, they'll automatically not allow you to set payment for it. I mean, my personal experience. I don't know about everybody, but that's what they're doing to us.
Yeah, no, I still actually have a whole bunch of pistol grips and oil cans for an AK that I bought to flip and never was able to because every time I try to post it anywhere, nope, not even an oil can, nope. It has nothing to do with the gun itself, but it holds the oil that you then can clean it with. That's too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's going that way, and it's just sad. But if they get rid of cash, we're gonna have to deal with silver again because there's always going to be an underground, no matter what. I mean, people use it for Bitcoin now, but I'm not getting into that because that's electronic currency too.
And it's also fiat currency. That shit ain't backed by nothing.
I mean, just look at my poor internet up until this past week. I mean, I was literally falling out. So what's to say that's not going to happen somewhere else? Plus, they've hacked everything. Someone has hacked everything. So why would I want to give that information to anybody like that?
I mean, I guess if it go cashless and I don't have enough silver, which I obviously don't, I might go and get Bitcoin just so that they see me putting it in Bitcoin. But supposedly Bitcoin won't report where I put it in after that. So that's the only hope at that point.
Tell the guys on the Silk Road that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know enough about Bitcoin. I just know that it's a fiat currency and I don't buy into it.
Well, it's all fiat except for actual precious metals. So
I mean, we have a mutual friend who loves Bitcoin, talks about it all the time. Won't shut the hell up about it. I'm like, dude, I don't want it.
Our mutual friend?
Mm-hmm.
Or your... Who in the hell is that?
No.
Are they on YouTube?
Yeah, they don't do gun videos anymore, though.
Private chat me.
Yeah.
Or text me.
No problem.
So, yeah. See, Bitcoin, never been hacked, but if you buy it at an exchange. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a Bitcoin. I'm not even going to pretend that I know anything about Bitcoin other than they tracked the dudes on Silk Road and busted them. And the exchange. Okay, so the exchange is required to report it. So, how did the guys get busted? Selling drugs and stuff. Then was it just because the FBI was involved, or?
I don't know how to spell his name. Initial that. Bitcoin ain't fiat. How's it not fiat? What backs it? what physically backs, what can I take? And I take my Bitcoin, my imaginary Bitcoin that I hold on my phone, and where do I take that to then get something of actual value for it? It's not government backed fiat maybe, but it's the illusion of being worth something. Tell me if I'm wrong,
Yeah, I don't have any knowledge of it. So, I mean, my brother-in-law, he's like a computer nerd. And my brother is a computer nerd, but, well, both my brother, my older and my younger brother are, but I'm the farmer. As Tony would say, yeehaw. I'm not completely illiterate to technology. You know, we have a 3D printer and stuff, but I mean, I'm not buying and selling Bitcoin or anything like that, or mining it.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law's rig is mining. His mining unit is like phenomenal. Like he was in college and they set up this huge rig, huge. And I was like, why do you need so many video cards? He's like, because we're mining Bitcoin. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I got him over 100. Oh, it was over 100 of the Radeon ATA XI or something like that. It was phenomenal. Like he was using them all to mine Bitcoin. So, but it was too far, too much for me to get involved. I didn't even care to study up on it or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I like free money too. That friend that I was talking about, yeah, he mined it, but supposedly, he always talking about how broke he is, but he somehow had graphic cards to mine a whole bunch of it. Talking about how he used to have even more, but he got rid of it, and he wished he hadn't. I'm like, okay, I guess if you got the money for the graphics cards and you can get a hold of them, because it was really hard to get a hold of them during all that.
Well, there you go. Hawaii HVS. There you go. There's a link to come in. Use it now before I take it out of here.
It's backed by mathematics, protected by NSA 256 encryption algorithm. Okay. It's backed by a computer program, but what makes it valuable? I mean, really, that's the simple question. Silver or constitutional money, silver, old, constitutional coins, they were made of metals that were precious metals. Even before that, you had gold coins. And then eventually we got paper money that you were supposed to be able to go get your silver or go get your gold with. But as far as Bitcoin, what makes it worth money?
If you want to join us and explain it, there's a link right above the last comment you made. So go ahead and click on that link, and I'll let you in, and you can explain it to us non-Bitcoiners.
I mean, I like math. I don't love math. I'm not a math professor, so I can't ever say though that math itself was worth anything other than the knowledge, right? Anyway, all I'm saying is, if I did use it, and I'm all for people using it, like with mining, because I mean, free money is free money. However you want to get it, there you go.
HVS is in the house. What's up?
Aloha from Hawaii, guys.
Welcome. All right, now explain this to us laymen's.
Please do.
Okay. So I don't want to turn your show into a Bitcoin broadcast, but you guys can hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay. So basically, the SHA-256 algorithm is a National Security Administration encryption algorithm that is, for all intents and purposes, unhackable. It was developed by the National Security Administration a while back, and that's what they use to mine Bitcoin, is hashing. Bitcoin is basically just an accounting ledger. It's a public accounting ledger, so it's not untraceable, but it's not. You basically have a public address and a private address, which is known as your keys. And it's basically there's a specific mathematical limit on how many bitcoins can be mined ever. And I thought, what is it, 28 million or something, or 21 million? I forget exactly what the limit is, but it's scared. Unlike fiat, with like the US dollar or any fiat currency that the government prints, they could just keep printing as much as they want, and that's the problem with it. So it's basically becomes worthless. So it's like the most frequently pointed out example is the Weimar Republic after World War One. The French and everybody who defeated Germany wanted reparations from Germany for the World War One. So the Versailles Peace Treaty forced Germany to pay reparations, and so Germany just printed the money to pay it. And so people had to go buy, like, with a wheelbarrow full of cash to buy bread, and literally. So, and because they just kept printing it and became more worthless and worthless. So because Bitcoin has scarcity, that nobody can just print out more. And that's something that even gold doesn't have. If the problem with Bitcoin is really just the same problem we have with the banking system, in that, well, if you buy it off an exchange, the exchange are just like banks. It's like you could give them, let's say, however many dollars, and they'll give you a certain amount of Bitcoin, but they'll just add it to your account. And nobody's checking publicly to see if the exchange actually has the Bitcoin that all their customers have on their accounts. But that's the same thing you have in any bank or brokerage. If you have a 401k and let's say Schwab or something with this whole is running your 401k, and you use some funds from your retirement funds to, let's say, buy some Apple stock. Well, okay, let's say that Schwab has like 1 million customers and they have 500,000 shares total aggregate of Apple stock, but they didn't go out and buy 500,000 shares. They just put it in people's accounts that they have it, and they're trusting in the liquidity of the system that they can, if they actually need the shares, they can go out and buy it if and when they actually need to produce the shares. But so that's called hypothecation. It's like imaginary stocks, which are hypothecation all in and of themselves. So the important thing with Bitcoin is if you buy it, is to get it off the exchange and put it into a wallet with where you are the only person that has the private keys. So you need, like, I use Exodus myself, and but I don't buy off an exchange. I have mining account with Genesis Mining in Iceland, and I just paid for mining power. And it's so basically every day I get a tiny little payout in whatever crypto I want. And I like Dash right now. There's a lot of different cryptos. Bitcoin is the most commonly known one.
All right.
But so the point is, it's got scarcity, which gold doesn't have. There's a ton of gold everywhere. There's lots and lots of gold. But I mean, I like gold coins. Don't get me wrong. I have gold and silver. I'm a big stacker, because it's the whole thing is it's outside of the system. But with cryptos, cryptos based on the exchanges are largely just like the banking system. They're reliant on the banking system functioning, and cryptos are 2 right now. And the problem with what's going on is it's like with the oil. I was trying to explain this to one of my YouTube friends, Squib, what's going on with the oil war between Russia and Saudi Arabia. That could turn into a real war. The oil like crashed from like what $50 to like 20 or something. And they've written all these, the banks have written all these derivative contracts, and I think they all just, I think they have to pay off like $1 quadrillion, and that they don't have in 30 days when they're supposed to settle. And so that if the banks just freeze up and shut down, so the whole thing with Bitcoin and gold and silver is you want to try and avoid third-party risk. You know, and the bank shutting, like if you have money in a bank, if the bank shuts down, what are you going to do? Yeah. They just close the doors. And if you have a gold coin, at least you have it. If you have a silver coin, at least you have it. If you have Bitcoin in your own wallet, and you're the only one who controls the private keys, you know, or you have it on a Trezor, and you're the only one that knows the private keys, the government can't take it from you. They can't seize it from you. How the FBI got stuff from Silk Road is, well, they can hack people's computers. Like the FBI can figure out a way to hack into your laptop. And maybe they can even steal your password. But they can't hack into Bitcoin itself. It's never been done. I mean, they'd have to put such quantum computing resources onto it to hack, just like, well, it's impossible, because the SHA-256 algorithm is very difficult to hack. And that's basically what mining Bitcoin is. It's just it's hashing the SHA-256 algorithm, and it takes the accounting ledgers of, it basically said this address Bitcoin sent X amount of Bitcoin to this other address. So it's just an accounting ledger, and it's public. You could go on the internet and find out, but it's not associated with a person. It's just a Bitcoin address.
Right. Yeah, I know about that.
So unless the government knows your Bitcoin address, you know, they like put on the new tax forms that you have to declare how much cryptocurrencies you have. But, you know, as somebody said in a congressional hearing, okay, how can you evade taxes with something that's not money? and the IRS has said that Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin is a security. And I'm like, really? It's a security for what? It's not. I mean, the IRS says it is, but it's not. And it's not like a share of stock. So the problem with the system is hypothecation and made up assets. And so it's like, I mean, if you guys know how fractional reserve banking works, I mean, you basically realize that all the banks are insolvent, and it's like a house of cards. So I think the problem we're going to have in 30 days is this whole, the derivative market might just crash and freeze up the banking system. So because there's a lot of, you know, stuff that can happen, but we are talking about like a banking Armageddon. So the government's going to do everything possible, the Federal Reserve, to keep the banking system up and running. They'll print money into oblivion. So the less and less fiat becomes worth, the more and more gold. I mean, gold's been going up, but it hasn't been, the price has been fixed for 150 years.
Well, yeah, because if you allow gold and silver to be what they're actually worth, then that
nobody
shows
knows
you how much worthless the dollar really is.
It's not freely traded. Nobody knows what it's worth because it's never been freely traded in our lifetimes. And it's controlled through derivatives. The price fixing is done through, paper trading. Like if aliens landed from outer space and went to the COMEX and says, okay, this is where you trade all the silver. They pointed their ray guns at the people and said, give us all your silver. We want it for our spaceships. And well, yeah, we trade all the silver here, but we really don't have any. They'd be like, what the fuck? They just start shooting people because there's no silver. They're just hypothecated, made up, imaginary silver trading contracts. And they do the same thing with cryptos and on exchanges. It's hypothecated cryptos or hypothecated silver or so, and they've done the same thing with oil. And so what derivatives are is basically a highly leveraged bet, and specifically the bets are like technical contracts written by lawyers. And when there's a massive price drop because of this whole war between Saudi Arabia and Russia over market share of oil, and like the war with Yemen and Iran and everything, the price drops so much that the system can just shut down completely. So it's because it's like third party risks. If like Citibank writes a derivative contract on oil prices or something related to oil prices, excuse me, I'm drinking my coffee. Then the bank that will underwrite Citibank's derivative is probably Deutsche Bank, and these banks are all insolvent, and if Deutsche Bank can't pay off like the quadrillion dollars that it underwrote for derivative contracts based on the price of oil being around where it was, I mean oil traded at like 150, and now they were like, a couple of days ago they were talking about it falling to 10 because Saudi Arabia turned the spigots wide open, and they're undercutting Russia's prices, and they're calling up all of Russia's clients and saying, hey, we'll sell you oil for half of what Russia's selling it for. I mean, because they're literally, it's an economic war between for market share of oil, because Russia's supporting Iran, who's supporting the Houthis, who's firing missiles at Riyadh from Yemen. And so there's a real war, an economic war. And what I told my friend yesterday, we were texting back and forth, is Saudi Arabia is pissed off at Russia. So they're poking Russia, the Russian bear, with a stick, and they took away its food dish. So Putin's going to have to do something. I think yesterday, Moscow says, and I quote, "We will not surrender," unquote. So it's a war. And the question is, well, what's Russia going to do? Are they going to invade Saudi Arabia? No, I don't know. That maybe they might send in some special forces to fuck with the I'm sorry, bad word, to mess with the royal family. And right now it's like Iran proxy war supporting the Houthis in Yemen, and that Saudi Arabia's been fighting. But I mean, Russia could just get pissed, and because Saudi Arabia knows that they've got United States and as an ally, and plus, I mean, if they're invaded if the Russian invade Saudi Arabia to because of the oil war to grab oil, then, or if they even mine and try and close the Straits of Hormuz to stop oil from flowing from the Gulf, I mean, like the Kuwaiti market, like today, shut down completely, the stock market, because it crashed so like 10% in like an hour. Nobody knows what's going to happen there. I mean, Russia could just get pissed at some point if they aren't making any more money selling oil and gas, which is their only economic source of foreign currency. They could just get pissed off and decide to roll their tanks into Lithuania. or any of the Baltic states. I mean, all they have to do is roll their tanks out of their bases and go ride their tanks down the road and take the off ramp that says Lithuania. And that's a country, even though there's U.S. troops and NATO there, the Russian military could engage Lithuania, I think, and overrun it with a reasonable chance of victory. And he could just do that, and just to make a point, and stop there. Then probably the Europeans would fall all over themselves trying to appease Putin. Because economic wars have a habit of turning into shooting wars, and vice versa. So it's given the risk to the system. Precious metals and cryptocurrencies are just a way of getting out of the system or avoiding third-party risk. But I mean, if you buy it off an exchange, the government's going to know about it because there's laws requiring exchanges to report to the IRS, just like there's laws requiring the banking. If you deposit a $100,000 check in your bank account, the government's going to know about it because they report everything you do to the IRS, and it's not a secret. If you just transfer something from one account to the other, unless the government knows, they have no way of associating a specific person with a specific Bitcoin address unless you report it on your taxes. So
no, I get that part. That part,
they don't know.
Bitcoin or crypto, I actually agree with. Especially if we do go cashless society, then that's the only way to stay somewhat, incognito. But as far as it being backed by anything, I mean, I don't see it. I mean, you can say that they can't make any more of it, but how do you prove that?
It's a mathematical equation. There's a white paper on it. You could read it if you want to.
I might.
Written by the mysterious Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever that is, who invented it. Some people think it's Alan Greenspan. Who knows? But it is what it is. I mean, I don't have a lot of it myself. I just have a little bit. I just didn't want to have no cryptocurrency.
When you brought up a good point with, what happens when the banks shut down, you're kind of dependent on the bank, do your banking. And it's the same kind of thing with Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. What happens if the internet shuts down? I mean, that would be pretty bad. I personally like to have it physical. But at the same time, yeah, if we went cashless, I would probably utilize it more. I don't think I'd be investing in it now, personally, because to me, I don't see the value in the backing. I see it's this is how it comes across to me. It's a made-up currency that somebody says, hey, this has got value. Believe me, I got mathematics on my side, and trust in me. So I'm trusting in somebody who started it, who...
No, you're not.
Nobody knows. Well,
it's a simple mathematical equation. You could read the white paper on it. But the problem in the world is that if the banks shut down, most people, nobody will be able to feed themselves, because how the Western world feeds itself is they take a little plastic card with a chip or a magnetic stripe on it, and they go to a supermarket or food chain store to buy food with money they don't have.
Well, you'll either have people
have to borrow it.
You'll either have people using silver or gold, which I don't think is that many people. But I think what Real Girl is saying in the chat is what you're going to see is a lot of bartering, because people who aren't prepared, who haven't put money into physical assets that can be sold, are going to have to learn how to barter real quick or offer services for other services. That's if everything crashes down.
Barter will be a thing. And if you read Zelko Begovich's book, all the gangs would set the price for barter the people with the guns set the price and for goods, and they traded for precious metals. And then when the grid came back up, they were all rich. Although the metals have less value when the grid is down, but when it comes back up, then and some kind of market is spot prices set somehow, then we'll see what we'll see. But yeah, barter will be a thing. I mean, there's no doubt. I was thinking about. I was making a joke with my friends that like on the Hawaii Island, I should go to Lowe's and just buy out all the toilet paper. You know, just and just say I'll take all of it, and then take that to my storage locker, and then go to Home Depot, buy out all the toilet paper there, take it back.
If nothing else, after this whole thing blows over, I would stock up and just hoard it, and then when it happens again, because it will, you'll have your bartering shit right there.
Well, I could call up the government and say, okay, you politicians are all full of shit, and you don't have any toilet paper to deal with it. So if either repeal all the gun laws, or I'm not going to sell you any my toilet paper stash.
Hey, I got a question for you. How are the gun laws in Hawaii? I heard they're atrocious.
Yeah, and they're passing a bunch of new bad ones. It's like California style.
I thought it was worse than that, actually. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know anybody from Hawaii. You're the first one to talk to, actually. But other than that, I just see what's on the news.
Well, they passed some illegal wrap back list law, and there's a lawsuit. Basically, if you want to buy a gun in the state of Hawaii, you have to give the police chief $42 to be put on this wrap back list. And what it is like the FBI is supposed to, the state gives your information to the FBI, and they're supposed to like do a background check like every day to see if you pop up on the NICS system anywhere in the country every day, like a constant background check. Except the FBI knows that's illegal, so it's because it violates the 1986 Firearm Owners Protection Act. They're not allowed to keep a national registry like that. But the state of Hawaii, when they passed that law, the governor asked his attorney general, well, can we do this? And the attorney general said, sure, go ahead. So the FBI, the county police chiefs collect this $42, and they give the information to the FBI, and the FBI hasn't done anything. They haven't done one background check because they know it would be illegal. So what they're doing is they're collecting a poll tax, and you have to sign a waiver agreeing to this wrap back list. But nobody has ever been checked put on a wrap back list by the FBI, because the FBI knows it's a violation of federal law. The state of Hawaii doesn't care. So ever since they passed that law, I'm just not willing to sign away all my rights, because you have to sign a waiver or they won't issue you a permit. So yeah, it's bad. You can, if you sign all that shit and pay the police chief $42, then they'll give you a permit, assuming you pass one background check, and they fingerprint you and all that stuff. But I mean, I bought my guns before all that shit. So I mean, and I've got like 4 long guns and a dozen pistols. So it's not like, I mean, I don't need to buy any more guns, but they have a bunch of new gun control laws that they're working their way through committee and are on the floor for votes right now, the legislature. I mean, I sent my state legislature, Nicole Lowen, it's my representative there, email. I explained everything that was wrong with all the gun laws that they're proposing, and then I just ended it with, in closing, please just take a long walk off the Kona Pier.
So Irish just sent a link out in chat, and I was reading it a little bit while I was listening to you. And dude, okay, so this is all about the herbal medicine taking a rise since the coronavirus, right?
Echinacea?
Well, I haven't gotten to a part where it actually talks about it. It just says that herbalist medicines, remedies, herbalist remedies are surging, but they're saying traditional Chinese remedies. Dude, I don't think I'd trust a Chinese remedy from a place where this originated from China, and they're all dying in there. Because
Well,
obviously
a lot of that's due with the green tea because it's full of antioxidants and stuff. So if you mix the elderberry with your tea and honey, you're giving yourself a lot of antibody, antiviral, natural medicine. And since the beginning of this year, since I've been doing videos again, I've noticed that my supplier who sells the elderberry plants has been sold out completely. And what it is all these people are taking up and they're going to start growing this stuff because they see there's a large market forming for it. Now, Sumbako, who makes the throat lozenges, also makes an elderberry syrup, which is based, I believe, out of glycerin. So you're not getting the same benefits as you would if you got local natural honey and made your own. So
I like the airborne that has echinacea in it and vitamin C. So I just bought a lot of that stuff. But I mean, everything's selling out on Amazon. I mean, have you checked like number 10 cans of Mountain House? Because stuff that I bought or Augustin Farms, all that stuff is like either unavailable and it's like quadrupled in price, you know, and because I bought like a lot of that stuff like 2-3 years ago, just a few cans at a time. And it's like
a good thing to do on Hawaii, man. You can't just get stuff shipped in that fast.
Well, yeah. So what I'd buy like 2 or 3 cans. It was free shipping, but this was a couple of years ago when it was like, you know, $12 a can, and now it's 50 or more, you know, for a little, you know, some freeze dried strawberries or something, or freeze dried lasagna, and it's like, and now it's unavailable at any price. So I mean, I hope it doesn't come down to. I mean, Hawaii is really dependent on shipping. So, but yeah, I hope it doesn't come down to a food riot like I've been hearing about. The UK is going to have to deploy their military in shopping centers to prevent food riots or something like that. I don't know if that's happened or not, but I've heard the rumors on the internet.
Yeah, it's definitely, that's one of my goals is to try to teach people, hey, even if you have a small yard, you can start somewhere and build some kind of reserve. And, you know, you don't need grass. Everybody thinks they need grass, but they'll spend, you know, $100 on a bag of fall fertilizer to keep the dandelions down, and a spring bag that's $100, you know, to kill the weeds and stuff. But if you just turn that yard into food production, you'll be fine.
Well, I've been trying to get a yard. I've been trying to sell my condo, and which has been a problem, and buy a house up on the volcano with some space for gardening and growing stuff. But as far as weeds, you just put down contractor paper over the grass or weeds, and it'll kill anything. And then you put your dirt and try and put some soil together on top of that. There's some unique challenges to doing that in Hawaii, but won't get all into the weeds on that. But I really want, it's like my condo's for sale, and I've been trying to get a really nice place up on the volcano and kind of turn it into a prepper, you know, compound. And the first deal, I had a house under contract, but they got tired of waiting for my condo to sell, and I couldn't blame them at all. So we just dissolved that escrow, and I just had buyer. I'm like living with all my stuff in storage. All my preps had to be thrown into storage because I can't just have the condo full of preps, you know, and have people come in and, you know, look at it. It has to be like perfectly like a showroom, you know, to sell it. And so I mean, I'm tired of just like keeping like the floor completely polished and smudge free all the time, because we put in wood floors to make it look all nice and stuff. And it's just, I'd like to have a garden where I could grow stuff and put a bunch of raised beds in and plant some fruit trees. And it'd be great up in Volcano. Plus it's a lot cooler up there than it is in Kona, just because of the altitude. So as long as the volcano doesn't blow up or explode, I'll be fine up there. Because it's like, it's like a catch. All the water up there is like on catchment. You like have a big 20,000 gallon tank, and as long as you can, I got my countertop water distiller. As long as I can generate some kind of electricity, I can keep that thing going and have an infinite supply of water just from the catchment rain. But yeah, when I got my first offer for the condo, which they got cold feet for buying in Hawaii. Unfortunately, there was a mainland buyer, and I went out and I bought some from, I think, the bulk seed store on the internet. I bought like a pound of red leaf lettuce seeds and a pound of cilantro seeds. And one of my farmer friends who used to be on my show said, "What are you going to do with a pound of seed? Do you realize that's enough to plant an entire acre?"
Yeah.
And well, I'll have seeds for a while. And I did an experiment once. I blew a gasket when I was going to buy a shotgun. I had to take my Blazer up over the Mauna Kea large mountain and to get to meet the guy, and I blew a gasket. So I ordered a remanufactured engine from the mainland, and it was going to take a month for it to get here to the shop for them to put in the remanufactured engine into my Blazer. So I said, well, I'm just going to live off my preps for a month just as a test. And I'll tell you, after about a week or 2 weeks, I forgot exactly how much time, but at a certain point, canned food and freeze-dried food, you're going to crave lettuce, just a leaf of lettuce. I mean, and it's because I could have just rented a car and just gone on with my life as normal, but I was like, nah, I'm going to do a prepping test here. And if you don't get any lettuce or fresh vegetables, you are going to crave that stuff really hard. Because I know I did, and that was just something I discovered by doing that test. So I was like, okay, I love red leaf lettuce and salads on sandwiches and stuff, so I'm going to get some of these seeds. And I thought, if the offer had gone through, I would have been all ready. So now I just have like enough seeds to plant like an acre. And but it's like I can just eat salads forever if I have a place to grow it. I just need a lot of salad dressing. So yeah, I'd love to be able to do that, but I can't do that where I live right now because I have to keep the condo in like showroom condition until it sells, which is a whole nother thing. Just my particular situation and trying to move to the good thing about living where I am is I can walk to everything. Walk to CVS, walk to Sack and Save, walk to Lowe's, walk to Walmart, walk to Safeway, and walk to Walmart, get everything I need. I don't even need to drive to do all that. And and even though I'm in the middle of town and in a condo, I'm on an island 3,000 miles from the nearest continental landmass.
Yeah, for sure.
So, if something happens to the mainland, something happens to the mainland. And nobody's going to nuke the Big Island because there's nothing here worth wasting an ICBM on. Maybe somebody will nuke Honolulu, in a bad situation. If there's a nuclear exchange, somebody might target Honolulu or Pearl Harbor or something. But that's a different island. And it's like 800 miles away from where I live. So there's nothing here worth an ICBM. And the main problem we have here is we're relying on shipping from the mainland. All the politicians are a bunch of communists. And if you want to you want me to talk about the current law, they're pushing through a magazine ban and ammo permit, shit, and permit to buy ammo shit. They're trying to, but I have so much ammo already. I just do ammo runs still because once you get into a serious ammunition collection, the tendency is to push it as far as you can.
Right.
So I don't know how much is enough. What it's like when I have so much ammo that it hurt. Because when I literally, because I had to move all my ammo to my storage, or almost all my ammo to my storage locker, and it was like I had to go down all these stairs carrying, 50 caliber cans full of lead ammo, and I did it all like in one day almost, and it was like it hurt. I mean, I couldn't walk for like a week. At least not up the stairs. I mean, it was hard to straighten out my legs. I mean, I was carrying stuff in addition to that too, boxes of stuff. I mean, if you saw my last video of my storage, I mean, I basically carried all that down from the top floor condo to the Blazers, drove it over to the storage locker and threw it in there, then came back and did it all again. But yeah, so if you have enough ammunition to equip a regiment, the problem is if you have to move it all in one day, it hurts.
Yeah. So we had a few comments. Mr. TV9, he's an elder Mary apparently, and he's going to turn 65 in April. Happy birthday!
All right, man.
Little girl says she lives in a bad neighborhood and there's always police at the grocery store. Was told by one of the police officers that they're going to be increasing police at the grocery store, so that sounds fun. Mr. TB, he's got running water in my ditch passing by my house in front. There you go.
There's his water collection.
He's got a creek right there in his front yard. And Little Girl works at a mortgage company and was surprised to see how active the real estate markets are in Hawaii right now, since there's only so much land to go around.
Well, it's a paradise, but then again, like he's saying, that the fact that it takes a month to get in a head gasket for a vehicle, that's here on the mainland, we just, 2 days, Amazon, send it to me.
Not to mention everything's like 3 times as expensive there as like here on the mainland too, right? Like milk or whatever.
Yeah, what's the Jones Act? It's like in 1913 or something like that, they passed some law called the Jones Act. And basically what it says is that if anybody in the United States ships goods from one U.S. port to another U.S. port, it has to be shipped on a ship that was built in the United States of America, is manned by a U.S. Union crew, and it also has to be, all the maintenance has to be done by U.S. Union workers. And those are like unicorn ships. There's like maybe 3 of them on the planet.
Oh Lord!
So when it costs if it costs $700 to ship a container from China to Long Beach, it costs $9,000 to ship a container from Long Beach to Hawaii.
Yeah, I heard that from Alaska is the same problem to ship from Alaska to the continental United States.
Yeah, and Puerto Rico has the same problem. So it's like everything costs. When I visit family in California, it's like going grocery shopping is like everything's so much cheaper. A box of cereal is cheap here. It's like almost $10 for a box of cereal.
And you're saying it's cheaper in California? Believe me, California is overpriced. Like, oh my goodness, you should come a little bit further in mainland. It's about half of what it is in California.
Well, yeah, it's funny. I was talking to my friend Oklahoma Prepper, and I sent him the links to like my condo that I'm selling and the place that I want to buy so he could look at them. And he was like, "Man, your place is worth $350,000 in Oklahoma. For $350,000, you get a mansion and 2,000 acres."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Yeah, but it's in Oklahoma." I mean, I've seen videos of Oklahoma, and it's like, I think the Daily Woo. I've seen some of his stuff on different towns in Oklahoma, and it's like it's like you pull over to the side of the road, and the main thing that happens is the cows stop eating, and they look at you. And the most exciting thing that happens is like a tumbleweed hits the fence and gets stuck.
It's all about your preferences, but Oklahoma, constitutional carry. No permit, open, concealed, don't need no permission. Just do whatever you like. Same here as in Arizona. So
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
love
it's all a
it.
trade-off, right? What's your priorities? Do you want something pretty to look at, or do you want to be able to live as free as possible?
Well, I loved it. I visited Prescott and I really liked it. I loved Whiskey Row especially.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying Oklahoma's that way too. Yeah, Arizona has been that way for a while, but and I live in Arizona and I love Arizona, but at the same time I hate Arizona for other reasons. Um, but yeah, no, I mean I don't know. I could never move to a state like that, like California, Hawaii. I mean I have a list of states I will not move to, and I will rarely go visit.
Well, let me explain Hawaii. My relationship with Hawaii is like one of my ex-girlfriends. Okay, uh, you knew this relationship wasn't going to work, but she's just way too pretty to kick out of bed.
Priorities, I guess.
You apparently never been to Tennessee.
Right? Oh my God, Tennessee is gorgeous, bro.
You need to find a Southern Belle, and you'll be hooked for life. You sitting on the porch watching that tumbleweed blow by will definitely be a fun experience. But you could also bring your Blazer over there and go 4-wheeling. There's a lot of, like, if you like to play in the mud or stuff like that, we have that too. So
Yeah.
Well, so my whole thing about if I get one of my places up on the jungle is that I can disappear. I can just throw on my Tiger Stripe BDUs, disappear into the jungle, and become invisible. You know,
right.
And at least to the naked eye, it's somebody that doesn't have thermal. I'm invisible.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a pretty neat tactical trick. So the places I'm looking at are like basically houses sitting in the middle of the jungle, and uh, it's they were really nice. It's just my problem is trying to sell the condo. It's taken too long, and so there is a
Tell me,
lot
boy.
of activity in Hawaii, but it's this particular place is just taking way too long to sell. But
Mr. Tommy Boy lives in Tennessee in the hills. Right on. I didn't know that. That's cool. I've been to Tennessee. I'd love to live in Tennessee. It's place is awesome. Bikes and Bullets says living in California will give you cancer just on the prices alone. And Riddle Girl says it occurs to me that depending on what happened with the virus, people are going to be presented with moral challenges. What would you resort to feed/protect your family? If it results to moral choices in this society, it's going to go bad. I mean, have you seen the people fighting for toilet paper in Australia?
I mean, when you're getting stabbed for toilet paper.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, and not only that, but what about the Popeyes chicken sandwich? Somebody spilled blood for that.
Yeah.
That wasn't even when the coronavirus was going on. That was just a tasty sandwich.
Well, I mean, the prime example is look how the stores get cleared out during hurricanes and stuff. I mean,
in Hawaii, everybody piles into Walmart.
Yeah.
It's crazy because you go to Safeway and there's nobody there, and they have everything you could possibly want, but everybody is just so programmed to go to Walmart every time there's a hurricane. And I mean, I did my hurricane preps videos, and there was like literally at Oshima's, one of the local stores, there was a line, like a 3-hour line for just to buy one bottle of water. And I was making my own. I just turned on my countertop water distillation machine, and I was just making my own water.
Well, it's like that here now. There's a limit on water. You can only buy 2 cases of water. And this is at the big box, like Sam's Club, Costco. You can only purchase 2. There's a limit of 2 on everything. So if you run a business, like we have a soda machine, I can only go there and buy 2 cases of soda, as where usually we would send one of the guys down and get 6 cases of water, and everything to refill the soda machine or pop machine, whatever you guys call it, wherever you're at. But yesterday, we were there, and they were completely sold out of toilet paper except for the main aisle, which usually Action Alley aisle, which usually has a pallet or two, one of toilet paper, and that was all that was there. So the main screenshot, whenever you open this video before it plays, is an actual picture of the shelves where the toilet paper used to be, and they're not restocking it as fast as people are taking it. So, and they also put a limit on that, but you know, I don't know how they're getting around that, either going through self-checkout and doing multiple transactions, but I mean, they're limiting already. And we don't even have technically the coronavirus, you know, within 100 miles of where we're at. So.
Yeah, and we ran out of hand sanitizer at Walmart. I snagged the next to last bottle, and it was the large bottle, and I put it on the. I just donated it to our condominium. In between the two barbecues in the pool area, there's like a little wash basin, and so I just donated it so people could use it. And I gave the manager, who it's a bunch of Clorox wipes. So because basically, if everybody in the condominium complex gets sick, eventually I will. So I'm just giving free hand sanitizer out,
Right.
so people don't get sick, because I don't want to get sick. So it's not like I'm being nice. I just don't want to get sick. So they can all have free hand sanitizer on me.
Yeah, I mean, we use it at the here at the farm, so you know, we'll buy 2 or 3 bottles, the big pump bottles, and so we have it on hand, so it's not like a must need go out and buy, because anytime you handle the animals, you know, if you have anything that you can't wash off quickly, like if you're like chickens, for example, if you've never had chickens before, they get what's called paste butt, and you have to clean that off. So we have wipes for that, or washcloths. But once you're done with that, if you take the eggs in, you know, you want to sanitize your hands before you start touching all the eggs and stuff and take them in. So that's something we have around. And people always look at us crazy because we get a flat cart and we load it down full of stuff, and then you have to explain them. You know, we have 6 children and a farm, so we only go once or twice a month to the store. So it's, you know, it's like we got a truckload full of stuff because we don't want to go to town but once a month, you know.
I was at Safeway 2 days ago just to buy some groceries, nothing special, and the lady in front of me her cart was full, and it was like totally loaded, and I looked at their checkout bill was $611. Like,
wow.
Shit, like that's a mortgage payment or something, you know, for a lot of people. You just spend it all on food. And so people are definitely stocking up on stuff. But I mean, since I just do prepping as a hobby, it's nice. And because you're supposed to, because of the hurricanes around here, nobody actually follows the advice. And what happened in Oahu was the government says, okay, you're supposed to have 2 weeks supplies of food and water. And so everybody went out as soon as the government said that, and they just bought out all the toilet paper at Costco on Oahu. But it's like, I don't have to do that. I already got toilet paper and food and water. I mean, I'm already set, so I don't have to panic when everybody else is panicking.
Right.
But which is a nice feeling, but it's like I was just, you know, when the market crashes 2,000 points in the morning, you know, it's like, okay, let's go buy some toilet paper.
Yeah. Let's not get food. Let's not get water. Let's get shit paper, because that's the main thing. Like, if you're not putting food in, I don't know what you need all the shit paper for. I mean, unless you plan on wiping a lot of noses with it. I mean,
well, it's a barter item. Like you're saying, if everything comes down to barter again, it's money. Toilet paper is money.
Right. But I mean,
whiskey is is pretty good too, you know. Not to mention it's a disinfectant, right? You could use it.
Yeah, I just picked up some when I was at Safeway. I forgot to mention I picked up some Okuliao, which is like Hawaii moonshine.
Yeah, Bike says, you know, yeah, palm leaves work, Mr. TB9. Sears Roebuck catalog. We used to have that because we still had outhouses. Dropping $600 in groceries every few weeks is the norm for my family. Yeah, Bike's the same way here. I have 2 in college and 4 that are still in high school, middle school. And so, yeah, that's the normal around here too. And we produce a lot of our own stuff, and we can a lot of our own stuff too. So,
Well, this lady was too old to have kids.
what's
least,
that?
She was way too old to have kids that she had to take care of anymore. Who spent $611? I mean, she wasn't like supporting a young family. She was like 70 or something. So,
Oh, okay. Well, and a lot of old people like, okay, so let's talk about that for a second. Yesterday, when I was at the Sam's Club and the Costco, everybody that went by had at least 2 packages of toilet paper, the large, packs that they sell at the big place. 3 gallons of bleach, 1 40 pack of water, and paper towels. And the only people that I seen that had any common sense in this thing were older people. And the older people were in the back of the store getting milk, honey, bags of rice, bags of beans. And out of all those people that were just panic buying, it was only the old people that had been through some kind of struggle in their life, that had planted gardens and lived through stuff like that, that were actually purchasing the correct things that they needed to survive.
I just hope people start panic buying condos, because I'm trying to sell mine.
You need to advertise. Put it up on social media and take pictures of it from the balcony, man. You'll get rid of it. You have a I mean, I only follow you on YouTube, but if you have like Instagram, start posting up pictures.
You want to link to my condo? Well, I should say that all my ammunition isn't here, and pretty much all my preps aren't here either, and none of my gold and silver is here anymore. So let's see if I could punch up the link. Oops, I pressed the wrong button.
But if you have a social media like Instagram or something like that, post it up on there, man. People see that and eat that up. It only takes one person, to see it and be like, hey, look at that place.
I don't use Instagram.
Okay.
Because it's Facebook. So.
Right.
Let's see. I'll show you my condo, or at least the complex. Let's see. Come on. I'm trying to get this link. Copy. Mine's the place there that I just posted a link in the internal chat here. That's listed for $335. You can show it if you want.
Well, you can post it in the regular chat, man. I mean, we're not advertise.
Well, I mean, it's listed on the MLS, and it's not like it's not like it hasn't sold due to lack of showings.
Right. Well, yeah, people are buying up land now, and that's the problem, I think, with that, is because everybody wants land. Because they're not making any more of it.
And some people like condos, some people like land. Yeah, I definitely want to buy a place. I'll show you the place I wanted to buy that that I had under contract, but it fell through because they got tired of waiting and they sold it to somebody else, or at least it's an escrow. It hasn't sold, but it was like a really nice place it's like the prepper jungle house with a jacuzzi.
So it's a vacation retreat that's / prepper retreat.
Yeah, here I'll let me copy and post this. This is the place I had under contract that I couldn't get because they got tired of waiting for my condo to sell. And again, I do not blame them. So let me post that.
Prepper chic.
Yeah, prepper paradise.
So here's the place I wanted. Here's the listing for the place I had under contract, but it fell through because it's taking too long to sell my condo.
Yeah, I would imagine that's not a panic buy thing. You need a good economy and people thinking that they're just going to buy something pretty.
Well, I mean, the Fed lowered the 30-year mortgage rates are at a 50-year low. So mortgage rates haven't been any lower in our lifetime. So
Guns coast to coast, welcome. Flour and salt isn't impacted yet, apparently, to him. Stock up on flour for sure. For salt, I have to stay away from that.
So here's what HVS is talking about. It's the link copied.
Mine's the 335 one.
Right here. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're interested,
Oh shit! Hold on, let me.
hold on. I'm sorry, bro. It's being weird here. Hold on. Let's click on it. I accidentally opened it in something else. Ooh, well, we don't want to give everybody his address, so
I don't care,
It's not like you can just go over there real quick.
yeah.
Yeah, mine's the one with the American flag, obviously.
Oh, he's diming himself out. He's like, hey, guys.
Yeah, right
So
there, man.
all you single ladies that are interested,
You got any coordinates? I mean, what's the longitude and latitude?
Yeah, there's a pool. There's a hot tub.
we're selling it now. We're selling it now. Look at that. Fancy.
Real.
Yeah, the real estate broker lady made me clean everything up, basically. It used to be a monument to bachelor living. It didn't always look like that, believe me.
Right. Well, yeah, because they want you to stage it so they can sell it to anybody. Yeah. We sold our house, our second house. They wanted us to paint the color, neutral colors and all kinds of just horse shit.
If you saw my last video of the storage locker, all that stuff was like in the living room. So
fancy. Yeah, look at that. Look at the nice view up there. Look at that.
The picture window.
Yeah.
Bamboo bed. That's the upstairs bathroom. The downstairs bathroom has granite and tile and stuff.
Let's go back through here. We're gonna sell this damn place so he can get him a prepper retreat.
Yeah, we'll show him the place that I tried to buy it and haven't got it so far because show him the place. Talk about like the prepper compound that I want to build in the jungle.
Bring that up. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. I don't know about the jungle part, but
was Family Robinson or some? No. There was like some old Disney thing where the people were cast away and they had to build a jungle house. Maybe it was that. That reminds me of that a lot.
Hidden Pearl in Mauna Loa Estates. Look at that.
Mauna Loa.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
That's quartz countertops. Yeah, I mean, that place even has a dishwasher. I haven't had a dishwasher in like 30 years. So, that's how it looks from the street. So it looks pretty nondescript just looking at it if you drive by.
Right. Oh, man. Look at the walkout porch on that. That's nice. I don't even want to know how much that costs, though.
Well, I mean, if his condo is $300,000.
Yeah.
That place was $345,000. Yeah, they just upgraded the railing because we asked them, and look where it is. It's like you could just jump into the jungle, and if your place is like raided by marauders, I could just jump into the jungle, and they go into my house to steal my stuff, and I could just pick them off as they're coming out.
Have all your caches out in the jungle.
Yeah.
Hot tub. Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, they put on some. They had to improve that little porch and put on some higher railings and an extra step and because it was kind of dangerous the way they built it. So they did some improvements when it was in escrow, but they got tired of waiting for the condo to sell, and I do not blame the sellers for selling.
They did not put a plastic blade fan out here though, because that thing's sagging. When we bought our third house, we had the same problem, except the blades were actually like hanging down here, and they would take your head off if you turned it on. It still worked, but we replaced it with a plastic blade fan. Oh, fireplace! Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real wood burning fireplace.
Cool, cool. Yeah, that's definitely a sustainable option you want to have.
And look, the dishwasher. Oh my God.
Oh, back. Oh. You'll be wifeyed up in a minute as soon as you get a dishwasher, man.
Yeah, I'm so tired of washing my dishes by hand. Let me tell you.
Nice little bar. Well, we know we were going vacation at if we ever go to Hawaii. We'll just stop by HVS's and check out the jungle cabin when he gets it.
Well, this one isn't going to be mine. Somebody else has bought it. So.
Well, hopefully they can't sell their condo and your condo sells, and then you can buy it.
Well, there's other places up in that subdivision that are for sale, but this was really, I think, the nicest one at the best price. So we'll see what's available when my condo sells. It's just I'm trying to get out of the city and someplace where I can grow my own food, and obviously it's really nice, and just not having the neighbors stacked up on top of you.
So if you check the private chat, Riddle Girl is wanting to give you her Twitter handle. She wants you to tweet her because she works for a mortgage company and she thinks she might be able to help you sell them.
Well, that listing has a broker. You can call my broker, Jalen, and she'll be happy to do buyer tours and sell it to anybody. Arrange tours, whatever. Basically, she just texts me. I've run up a huge bar tab with all the showings we've had because basically the lady broker texts me on my cell phone like, we got a broker showing request at such and such a time, so I have to clean and polish it, turn on like the Hawaiian music channel on the TV so it just plays Hawaiian music, and make sure the floor is completely polished and leave the toilet seat down, I think, and all that, and then just disappear. So I go to TJ's bar, which is just like I can throw a stone at it, and I just wait, hang out, order drinks, and wait till she texts me that the showing is complete. But so I ran up a kind of a big bar tab with all the showings. But yeah, that if you don't need my Twitter handle, just call my broker if you have somebody that wants to buy it. It's on that if there's a phone number and an email on that listing. It's like Aloha Living and Kailua Bay Resort. So AlohaLiving.com is the website that's the multiple listing service for Hawaii. I'm on the Big Island, and it's Kailua Bay Resort is the complex. So if anybody wants to buy it, it's for sale.
All right.
Anybody who can afford it.
Yeah. Guns coast to coast, I noticed the flour and salt was not impacted. Well, no, because nobody knows how to make bread anymore. So nobody's buying flour, nobody's buying salt, and nobody's buying yeast because those were still on the shelf. So, yeah, they apparently lost touch with what they need to make normal substances at your home.
Yeah, salt is something I have. I always buy like a container of kosher salt whenever I hit Safeway.
Yeah, you can't we still hunt, wild game and stuff. So we'll use salt to cure some of it and smoke some of it, and
there's lots of boar up on the volcano. There's tons of boar up there, so I'd have to put up a fence just to try and keep them out of my yard.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's a problem we have now here. We're starting to get wild boar here, and they're just a nuisance animal, and they'll eat everything. I have 2 layers of fence just to keep them out. Of course, the deer will still jump them and come in and take a little snack. But do they have deer in Hawaii? Is that a stupid question? I mean, we have them in Florida Keys, but I don't know about in Hawaii.
Maui has some axis deer, but they're not. No, we have sheep and we have boar. That's about it for land hunting. There's some pheasant, quail, stuff like that. But that's why fishing is so big.
Right. Yeah, because
you got plenty of water.
We got this thing called the Pacific Ocean, and there's lots of fish in it. Fishing is big here. The poke is like a staple almost.
Yeah, we
Do
have
you call it Hawaiian pizza when you're in Hawaii, or is it just pizza?
You mean you people who order pine? I can't eat pizza anymore for health reasons. Cheese is like got crossed off my menu by the cardiologist. So, but I mean, we have Domino's pizza out here, so.
But if you watch the commercials in the continental United States, it says more expensive in Hawaii and Alaska.
Yeah, everything is more expensive in Hawaii or Alaska.
I love how it always says that. I'm like, I'm glad I don't live there.
Yeah.
Well, it's a very beautiful place.
Of course.
And whatever problems, once you lived here long enough, it's like whatever's going on in the mainland, you can just kind of pretty much blow it off, and to a large extent. It's like mainland people with mainland problems,
Yeah.
And it's like an island mindset. It's like, I mean, we are 3,000 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like whatever happens everywhere else doesn't matter, because I mean, when I first moved here, I moved to Kapoho, which was recently buried by lava, but it was a very beautiful place. It was on the east, the east tip of Hawaii, and it was like a jungle on the edge of the world. It's like the farthest place in the United States. Kapoho was the farthest place that you could be and still be in the United States of America from civilization. And it was like from Kapoho, it was like a 15-minute drive into Pahoa, which was the nearest town. Kapoho was more like just a subdivision with some houses along the ocean. And so it took 15 minutes to drive to the nearest one-light town. And Pahoa at that time had a row of corrugated tin shacks, a gas station, Le Guin's, which is since burned down, a Mexican restaurant, a Sunday's farmer's market, the Pahoa Cash and Carry store, and which also doesn't exist anymore, but it was this small, like, gas station convenience market kind of a store. And but it was where everybody got everything, and the Island Naturals food store, and that was it. And eventually they put in a strip mall with a supermarket, which was like shocking. I hadn't been there after I moved to Kona for like years, and I went there and I was like, oh my God, there's like a store here, a real shopping market with aisles and everything, and a deli. It's like, we never had anything like that. And so it was 15 minutes just to get to Pahoa, and it was to get to Hilo. It's like an hour and 10 minutes drive in to get to the Walmart. So living in Kona where I could walk to the Walmart or Lowe's or Safeway or Sack and Save or CVS.
Yeah, definitely a upgrade from having to, because we're the same way. 45 minutes one way just to go to any of those stores. So
I used to live like that, not anymore. Now it's like 2 minutes.
So good morning, Walter Davis. Bike says that saying is hilarious. Mainland people with mainland problems. Nice, yes. The article I posted up was about how Italy is shut down. They're actually going door to door with full respirators, full PPE or mop suits, I would like to say, and checking on people, tell them to stay home. And of course, Walter Davis says hello to Riddle Girl and Bikes and Bullets. Says morning, Walter. So we got off the chain there a little bit. HVS has joined us this morning. He's trying to sell his condo. So if you need a fantabulous condo in Hawaii that has a hot tub and pulled out the back door on the third floor with a good view, $350,000, $345,000, $335. So check that out. If you know anybody that's interested, pass it along. Well, I don't know if we posted. You didn't post the links in the regular chat, but
If you want, I will.
yeah, I mean,
Let's see.
One person could tell somebody else, and then so how bad is it? How bad is it in everyone's neighborhoods as far as the over preparation of poorly preparated people? I guess I posted up pictures on the main before the video starts, and their shelves are cleared out at the Sam's Club and some of the Costco's as well, and they're limiting water and pretty much everything else to a quantity of 2 for places that are supposed to supply people that have businesses. So
Like the bullet says that they read an article that looks like Italy has fallen.
oh yeah, the article I just posted, yeah, it's horrible. Like, just it's phenomenal how fast. But they have an older population as well, and they're a lot closer. I'm sure the people out in the countryside are not. Walter Davis is listening, but pulling a motor.
There you go, bro.
9,000 cases and almost 500 deaths. Yeah. I've been to Italy, and I've been to France, and it's kind of like California almost. It's a lot slower pace, but it's people stacked on top of everybody until you get out into the countryside. So
So Irish, I wanted to ask you what was your spec when you were in the Marine Corps?
I had like 10 jobs. I started out in as a Marine Raider, and got blown up, so it kind of didn't do that anymore. I was door gunner on a helicopter for a while, and then after I did that for a while, I did hazmat and advanced composites.
Door gunner. So you had a Mod Deuce or a
on a CH-53 on a helicopter. Helicopter door gunner.
So that was a mod. Was that a Mod Deuce or a minigun?
Oh no, we had 50s at that time.
Oh, okay.
Well, it depends on what squadron you're with, but I don't want to give too much information away, so I won't tell what squadron I was at. But
okay, but then you did hazmat after that. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. We did. I did hazmat. I was on the hazmat team. I went to firefighting school. Anything that they allowed me to go do, I did, just to be, I guess I had that prepper mindset, if that's what you want to call it. But I like to be a jack of all trades, master of none. So
that has its benefits and its drawbacks.
Every school that they would allow me to go to, I went to. Paint, corrosion. I mean, you name it. If they corporal's course, corporal's course, anything they would let you go to, I would go to. I was a green belt in Marine Corps mixed martial arts. But that was also during the time when they were closing down a lot of bases too, because I was originally stationed at El Toro and they closed our base. So then we moved to Miramar, which is in California.
Okay. Well, I was just curious. So thanks for letting us know.
I have a really overly thick training jacket. I always thought you were in the military, and then we had that chat that one night, and
yeah, I'm a civilian.
I assumed because you were in Hawaii that you were military.
A lot of people are, because it's a way to get work,
right?
And I'm the first person in my family that was a civilian, so it's like my grandfather Abraham is the hero in our family. On my mother's side, basically my family was in Warsaw after it was overrun by the Nazis, and so they had to bug out to Russia. And they wound up in Gulag in Siberia, where my grandmother was sentenced to death because a pig escaped that she was supposed to be watching. They got it basically the pig escaped that she was supposed to be feeding and taking care of, and they took her to like some court, and they sentenced her to 1 day in 1 day in prison. And in Siberia, 1 day in prison is 1 day and night. Is like a bunch of sticks outside with a door,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like 60 below zero at night. So it's like a death sentence. But before that happened, somebody ran into the court after the pig ran away, and they said that another pig escaped from the pig pen, and my grandma was like, well, that's not my fault, I was here. So they found the pigs, like somebody else came in like 10 minutes later, that they were basically having sex in the coal mine, making a lot of noise. And because basically the first pig ran away, and the male pig ran away, and then the second pig got lonely. The female got lonely and just broke out and followed his scent. So instead of the 1 day and night in prison, they deported them to Osh, Kyrgyzstan, which was a concrete factory. Yes, you can get deported from Siberia. It gets worse. So Osh, Kyrgyzstan, it was a labor camp it was a concrete factory, and it wasn't a death camp, but the conditions were so poor that everyone died. So my grandfather volunteered for the Second Polish Corps, and because there was in Osh, there was this Polish colonel, and the Russian Soviet army had all these refugees, and they had this one Polish officer. So they said, hey, we could form a Polish Corps and use them as cannon fodder or whatever. So my grandfather volunteered because people who were in the army got fed food. So
Right.
and was either die in the camp or volunteer to fight. So he was a sapper in the Second Polish Corps. And which a sapper is like a combat engineer in like the Soviet Army organization. Basically, what he did was the sappers they built bridges, they blew up bridges, they built tank traps, they blew up tank traps, and they assaulted German tanks with not much more than a Mosin Nagant pistol and a satchel charge. And so he marched 2.5 years straight combat from Osh, Kyrgyzstan he mustered out at Lublin, Poland with malaria and white phosphorus burns to the right side of his face. He never had to shave on the right side of his face. But so 2.5 years of straight combat, without a break.
Right.
And my uncle did 2 tours in Vietnam, and my dad was in the Army Reserves, and my cousin was in the Navy. So when I was growing up, my folks said, Steve, we don't want you to feel that you have to be in the military because this family has already done its bit. So it was never really a thing for me to be in the military. I was never like motivated to do it. I mean, they got me into a recruiting office for the Marines once because they kept sending me letters saying when I was in high school saying, we can teach you to fly choppers. We can teach you to fly helicopters. But my vision wasn't good enough to get that. Well, the recruiter told me when I showed up. And so it was like, okay, I'm at. I mean, he was honest, which was shocking because what you hear about recruiters is that they aren't. And basically, he tried to talk to me about things that I didn't understand, like honor and loyalty and stuff that I figured out a lot later in life than when I was 17. I was into playing guitars, going surfing, and smoking weed. I'm a typical California kid, right?
Right.
But I was interested in learning how to fly helicopters, but I mean, they didn't have LASIK back then, and I eventually have that. So now I have perfect vision, but back then I was like nearsighted. So they weren't going to teach a nearsighted kid to fly a helicopter. So anyway, I went to UCLA and started my own business, and I've had an interesting life, and I'm happy being a civilian. I appreciate everybody that served in it, but it was like my folks never really. They never said I couldn't join the military if I wanted, but they didn't encourage it or because everybody else in the family was in it. So I'm like the first civilian in my family. But I mean, we really appreciate everybody that serves and puts their ass on the line to so we don't have to, so I don't have to. Um, and like I've told my friend, it's like when it comes to the Marine Corps, as long as there's United States of America, there's going to be United States Marine Corps, and as long as there's a United States Marine Corps, there's going to be United States of America. What's that? You holding up?
Oh, I was just showing everybody. Some of the guys in here will understand what this is. I don't know if everybody got it, but in the 90s, they gave these out. It says honor, courage, and commitment. And then, of course, on the back, it says, my name is a Marine, and then it tells you all the stuff that you're supposed to know as a Marine. But on the front, it says honor, courage, and commitment. And then it explains all that stuff to you. And you carry this around with you. They've since moved to like challenge coins and stuff that say it, but I still have mine. What's up, HDP? Saints and Sappers, welcome.
Yeah, if I was a teenager, what would the card say? It's like surfing, music, and weed. That would have been my challenge coin. But I mean, it was just I'm perfectly happy as a civilian, to be honest. But I mean, I know that somebody has to be in the military.
Right.
Everybody else has been. But yeah, my folks didn't really encourage me to do that, so I didn't. I just did anything.
It's not for everybody. That's true. I mean, I think that everybody should do it. Even if we're not in a combat situation, you get a lot of good experiences that you wouldn't otherwise get. I mean, especially for people like me coming from a small town. I mean, I would have never seen California or Italy, France, none of that stuff. I didn't want to see any of the stands, but I got to go to one of those. So,
I don't think anybody wants to see combat. I mean, unless they're fucking crazy.
Yeah, it is what it is. So, HDP's laughing at me. Yes, you still have your card, HDP? And Bikes and Bullets. Holy crap, he still has his card. Yes, I carry it every day in my wallet.
Well, what's interesting is that one of my YouTube friends, Squib, that he was in the Marines, and basically they deployed. He was on a ship off of Somalia, and whenever they would fly in to Somalia and land, everybody would just run away from them because, I mean, the technicals, they don't want to fight the Marines. They might fight the Army, but when the Marines have their reputation precedes them into battle, as soon as they see the gray Marine helicopters, the bad guys just run. So they never got to fight anybody. I mean, they land somewhere to do something, but all the bad guys would just run for their lives as soon as they saw that it was the Marines. Yeah.
HDP uses his card for a windshield scraper.
Well, we don't have that big problem here with ice in Hawaii. I mean, not the cold kind.
Right. Yeah.
It's here are all crystal meth.
I still carry my orange survival card. No, I don't have that. I carry a lockpick set and I think I have a Fresnel lens too. And my wallet's pretty thick. It's a pain. I keep it in my front pocket because it hurts my ass just to sit on all that extra crap. But I have my survival card that has lockpick set on it and a Fresnel lens. And each one got one in my boots. Just to have carry cash too, but too much.
Yeah, I got a Fresnel lens too in my wallet. It's a good idea to have.
Yeah, I mean, you have fire as long as there's sunlight out. So, how's it looking out in the High Desert Pioneers area? Are they panic buying out there? They told us Marines only fight as a group, not so much alone.
Well, I mean, there are Marine Corps snipers.
They're usually 2-man teams, but yeah. I mean, I don't know. I was always taught to fight no matter what. So, Saints, aren't you in the Marines? Are you an Army dog? Bikes and bullets. They lied to you, Saints. They lie. My recruiter, his whole thing was the few, the proud, and the laid. So as a 17-year-old kid, that was all. That's what I was about. So we had to join the Marine Corps because they had the best uniforms, and they didn't tell us that we got Army hand-me-downs. On first deployment, we got sent in, and we had jelly bean camis, which are like the old desert-style camis, and flak jackets. And the only reason I had a actual bullet-resistant vest with plates on it was because I was flying at the time. So
Yeah, door gunner is a high-risk occupation, isn't it?
yeah, I mean they're all, unless you're a chow hall guy, but chow hall has to feed the Marines. So, well, you all go to the rifle range every year, or you're supposed to for rifle qual, or maybe it's every 2 years, and then gas chambers. So as a Marine, you're basically a rifleman no matter what. You're a basic rifleman. You still have to qualify, and that's your job. Your primary MOS is a rifleman. So they want every Marine to be able to shoot and hit their target. So it doesn't matter if you're a chow hall guy or a supply clerk or whatever. I mean, your primary MOS is a rifleman. Okay, so Saints must have been an army dog. He said that not for us. They told us not to destroy our equipment. The Marines got the leftovers. Yeah, that's the damn truth. I was wearing a flak jacket as a bulletproof vest. The only thing the flak jacket's good for is when you put your helmet on, you tuck your head in it and fall asleep, and it keeps your head straight, so it looks like you're awake. That's all it's good for. Yeah, it seems like that's all we got was hand-me-downs. I mean, it's not now. I'm sure now that, it might be a little better, but probably not.
Well, Marines have F-35s, and those aren't exactly hand-me-downs.
Well, they got the new JS, the Joint Strike Fighters, and the Osprey, but the Osprey had so many problems with the tilt rotors. As they would come up, something would go bad in the servo, and they would crash. So they were still grounded when I was in.
I remember growing up, all the stories about, there were families who protested that thing because people died in them when they were first, developing it back in the 80s or.
Yeah, they were a cool concept, but I mean, they were literally grounded the entire time I was in. So we're still using Huey 53s and 46s.
They're using Ospreys now.
Yeah. They even they did away with all the old C-130s too, the KC-130s, and now they have the newer J model. The old KC-130s didn't have the refueling boom. So they put the refueling boom and a whole bunch of upgrades on them because the ones we were using were still from Vietnam era. And they would take off and they couldn't take off full fuel. And so they fixed that problem by putting the fuel boom on the front of it so that once it gets in the air, it can offload from another C-130 and refuel to complete capacity. And then I think it could stay flying for 2 weeks, maybe a week or 2 weeks without refueling. So got a nap waiting for IED clearance. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they'd have to sweep the damn area for just for us to come in. and drop people off. So yeah, I can only imagine being on the ground. Recruiter, let's see. Walter Davis says the recruiter asked me if I wanted to be a Marine. I said Paris Island. He said what? I said yeah. I hear it's like Disney, land hot and lots to do. He almost died laughing. Yeah, well, if you want sand fleas and be chewed up and have to wear, well, the DIs down there wear flea collars around their ankles, but the recruits that weren't allowed to back in the day.
So when I was a kid, the scariest part about watching Full Metal Jacket for me wasn't the fighting or the boot camp. It was right at the beginning of the movie. It was the haircut. It scared the shit out of me because because I swear girls just loved my hair when I was a teenager. That was like, I mean, that I actually got a call from one of my high school girlfriends. She just wanted to know about how my hair was. I know they're weird. It's like I dated this blonde chick once, and she said she wanted to have sex with my hair.
Wow. I mean, chicks like the mustache ride, but I've never heard of a whole head ride. That's some
so
California stuff, bro.
Cut off all my hair. I was like, wait, I'll never get laid. And you cut my hair. So that was the only scary part of the movie for me when I was a teenager that discouraged me from.
Stanley Kubrick is the man. I watched that movie probably a million times, and no matter how many times I watched it, and my mother's like, you don't want to do none of that stuff. I'm like, it's exactly what I want to do. First, I started out as the Army because as a child, I always thought, hey, the Army's everything because, the Marines are Army. Everything was Army. So we played Army all of our life, played BB gun wars, paintball. And then, I got up into high school and realized, no, there is a difference. And I don't want to be in the Army. I want to be in the Marines. So that's where I went.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to hang out in the backyard with my Daisy Red Ryder and just shoot aluminum cans all day long, And so when I got an AK, it was like the same thing, just a little more powerful, but it's iron sights are iron sights, no different. So I remember going to the range when I first moved to Hawaii. I got an AK here, and it was my first AK in Hawaii, and I hadn't been shooting in like 15, 20 years, anything, because I'd just been too busy running my business before I moved out here. So I had taken this FFL's the NRA pistol certification class that you have to take to be able to buy a pistol in the state of Hawaii. And it gives you a little certified notarized letter saying you completed the course. And so you can buy a pistol. You have to turn that into the police and chief. And it was like he knew I was a terrible shot with a pistol, and I am. I'm not that great with a pistol. So I had my AK that I had bought from him. I took it out to the range for the first time, and he was there, and he had like a 8-inch round gong set up 100 yards away, and he had his AR with a bipod and a rifle scope sitting on a bench, and he takes a shot and he hits it. And so I have my, AK brand new out of the box, hadn't shot a gun in 15 years of any kind. And so he says, well, why don't you see if you can hit the target? And he's sure I can't hit it because he's seen me shoot pistol at the qualification course, and I'm not that great with a pistol. So I take out the AK, line up the iron sights, and ping, and his jaw drops down. It's like, let's see if you can do that again. That was probably just luck. I was like, okay, ping, 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 ping. And it's like, yeah, I was standing up. I didn't need a bipod. I didn't need a scope. And everybody on the that was at the range wanted to shake my hand like I was Wild Bill Hickok or something. And it just seemed pretty damn easy to me.
Guns Coast to Coast says I went to Paris Island on my way to a resort town once. That's the best way, Midwest. The HDP Saints of Sabre says the haircut line uncovered a lot of odd-shaped skulls. We called them grapes. A lot of uncut, odd-shaped grapes. And Bikes and Bullets says, "See, Hawaii is commie." Laugh out loud. They make you get permission. Yeah. So that's another thing that annoys the crap out of me is the DC sniper. He was taking shots at 100 yards with a scope out of the back of a trunk in a stationary position. So that just always annoyed me because we shoot way over that with iron sights, just to qualify in the Marine Corps. So,
well, the range is only so big. Where out here at Manuka, it's we don't even have a range. It's like a hunting area. And
yeah, no, I'm not dissing you or dogging on you. I'm just saying the whole DC sniper guy. They gave him the name sniper whenever, a true sniper isn't taking shots way over 100 yards with a scope. I mean, we're trained at 500 yards just to qualify in the Marine Corps with iron sights. So it was just the name that they gave the DC sniper. I don't know why they gave him such a title, but that instills fear in people, I guess. But
well, they're selling. They're selling advertising, so they need people to watch. That's why they gave them the name sniper, because fear. People. We could talk about fear. People are like with this virus. People are doing videos and getting views and making money. And some people are selling fear. Some people, are selling the opposite. But either way, they're profiteering off of the virus one way or the other. And they don't have to like sell hand sanitizer or something to do it. It's just they're making videos on the virus based on, and they get views based on fear. And this is capitalist society. That's what people do, make money doing stuff. And so, but it's fear is one of the things that motivates people. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, or fear of missing out, or and there was like a show on last night, Apocalypse Preppers, on I think was it Discovery or National Geographic, that because they didn't do Doomsday Preppers because that was already taken by somebody, so they did Apocalypse Preppers. They had Patriot Nurse on there and some YouTuber people.
Really,
yeah, and. So naturally, I watched it because I just loved all that shit. I watched like all the dual survival shows and Dude, You're Screwed and all those. But it's like I even watched Naked and Afraid, but because it's I always pick up a couple things and it's kind of fun. I just like watching that stuff. But God, I would never do Naked and Afraid myself. If I go out into the field. I want all my doodads and my mountain house, number 10 cans and lighters and I wouldn't go out naked with no shoes or clothes and like one survival item or something. That's just crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal, that's for sure. I
mean, you could pick up some ideas of them, survive, powering through it and how they. It's interesting to see why people tap out sometimes. I definitely like Alone. They did it, and Naked and Afraid did some series to profit off of that by doing Naked and Afraid Alone. At first, I thought, oh, there's a new Alone, I'm going to watch that, but no, it was just Naked and Afraid. And they did a few shows called The Alone, Naked and Afraid. It's like, but the actual Alone, like the one by that convict lake up in Canada, that was pretty good, and the one in Mongolia was great. One girl tapped out almost at the beginning because she got a fish hook barb caught in her and then she couldn't get it out. And there's no way you can survive with a fish hook, stuck in you. You can't get it out.
Yeah, because infection will set in really quick. Some things you can work around, but not being impaled by something. There was a funny video, and I don't know why I didn't save it in my viewed list, but there was a guy, and I forget the name of it. He did a video about him selling toilet paper. He looked like a crackhead. Hello, Kitty. Like a crackhead selling crack on the corner, but he had his backpack on. He's like, "Girl, I'll hook you up. Girl, I'll hook you up. You want the whole roll?" And he had the roll of toilet paper, and he was shaking it.
Yeah, well, if things get crazy, I'll sell some of those face masks, my Curate antiviral face masks for like, some ridiculous, outrageous price. I'll just set up in the Costco parking lot and sell them there.
Bikes and bullets. Hundreds of yards with a scope makes it look like point blank. Oh, wait. I don't know anything about guns. Yeah, bikes. Stick to bikes.
Right.
building them fast ass crotch rockets out there. You don't need any bullets to run bikes.
I want that
Yes.
trike that I showed with you the other day. That thing's bad.
Bikes. You should check out some of the stuff he does, man. He phenomenal bike mechanic. I mean, he's got it going on there in his shop for sure.
Nice.
I can't watch his videos because my wife yells at me whenever I say, "Oh, I want to get another bike," and she's like, "No, you're not getting another bike."
Bike isn't Harley?
No, I don't know if he works on Harleys. I know he does a lot of fast bikes, like sport bikes and stuff.
Ground pounders?
Make me that.
We call them crotch rockets because, they're in your crotch and you squeeze to hold on to them.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of those personally.
My first one bikes was a 1100 Hurricane that was orange and green to match the Miami Hurricane colors. So if that gives away, I lived in Florida.
What state are you in now, Irish?
Right now I'm currently talking to everybody from Indiana, but I go back and forth between Indiana and Tennessee.
Oh, which state do you like the best?
Tennessee.
Tennessee?
Yeah, people are more friendly there, I think.
Yeah, and
The first thing I noticed when I moved to Hawaii, because coming from LA, I got to a four-way stop sign in Hawaii, and everybody was like, "You go first. No, you go first. No, you go first. No, you go first." In California, it's not like that.
And in Tennessee, most people still, grow a lot of their own food. So if there was a SHTF situation, you wouldn't have to worry about people coming to try to mooch off of you or take your stuff because they still grow their own foods. So, and that's not, of course, not in the big cities. That's just where our house is. But Saints and Sappers says, combat, cook, eat our mess, die like the rest. We called them cow catchers. Cow catcher, feed me, please. No guns. Saints and Sapper doesn't have any guns. Wow. What is wrong with you, Saints? But you can kill a man with a fork. You can kill a man with a knife. You can kill a man.
Wasn't that what you said about having a weapon in your vehicle?
Yeah, I got pulled over one time by a state police officer, and he said, "Do you have any weapons in the car?" I was like, "Well, yes, sir." I was like, "Everything's a weapon. I'm a United States Marine." And he about shit his pants laughing at me. He's like, "All right, buddy, hang on." He goes, "I'll be right back." He didn't give me a ticket, so that was good. And so
always helps when you make them laugh, I suppose.
Yeah, well, most of them pull you over. They see the Marine Corps sticker or something, and that was back in the day. I don't carry any put stickers on my car, but
right.
I don't know anything about crotch rockets. Well, that's what they're called here in the fine state of Indiana or Tennessee. They call them crotch rockets.
Yeah, all those foreign ones that I've heard that term many a time. There's a chopper, there's a bike, and there's a crotch rocket.
Yeah, everybody assimilates a chopper with the Harley brand, and then But
then
now
the regular bike would just be your normal, like, I don't know, Honda knockoff.
Yeah. Now they make mopeds that look like crotch rockets, so better watch out. Got that little 125.
What's up with that Harley? They tried to do some electric bike or something.
Yeah.
Electric.
Oh yeah. I remember
Yeah, they swore that they would never do that, and then they went and made one. Walter Davis
Harley's
says,
not a good company anymore. Anyway, they haven't been in a while. They've been selling out every chance they get, and sending their stuff to China to be made. So, personally, if you want an American-made bike, you're gonna have to look for the Indians now, because Harley's gone off the deep end.
Walter Davis says, I won a gun, lost 9 of mine off the boat. That's a horrible day. That's a horrible day, Walter.
Yeah.
I only have BB guns, so it's okay.
Yeah. So in Hawaii, they've got a magazine ban bill that looks like they're going to pass. So all my magazines fell off a boat. At least those that I won't be selling. So if you sell a magazine to somebody, it's like the penalty is 5 years in jail.
Oh wow! To sell a piece of plastic, essentially.
Yeah, that was legal. That is legal still. I can still go to the shop, but like I think at the beginning of next year, if they pass this law, they'll be illegal to transfer, barter, or anything. And I got to tell you, I mean, they're going to create a huge black market for this stuff, and they're going to acquire permits to buy ammo, and yeah,
So
so
this wouldn't be legal in Hawaii anymore.
it is now, but it won't be next year if they pass the law.
So just a quick update on the stock market. Disney has hit a 52-week low. It's down to $103.95 if you want to buy Disney.
Yeah.
You're still into buying stocks.
Well, stocks are something that has like third-party risk also. So, and they're hypothecated. They're not. If you have like I was saying, if you have an account with like Schwab or somebody, and you buy a share of Disney, doesn't mean Schwab is going to go out and buy a share of Disney just because you put in an order for it. They'll just add it to your account.
Yeah,
and they'll just. But there isn't actually a real share there.
Bitcoin is at $8,010. Of course, it's fluctuating. Twitter. Twitter's 33.51. Tesla, 614 a share. Netflix is 349. Facebook's 171. Microsoft's 153, and Disney is obviously down. They're actually down to 103 now from 130 when I just got the update on it. Starbucks is down to 70.49. Ford is at $5.85 a share. That can't be right. Alibaba's up to 202. Bank of America is $21.99. Fitbit is at $6.28, and GE is at $8.23.
Yeah, it's really amazing. Is that Ford is at what did you say it was?
Ford is $5. It's down $5.84.
So it's like that makes it around $5 a share, something like that. And Tesla is what? I mean, the market capitalization of Tesla just dwarfs.
Tesla's
Ford.
up 612 right now.
Yeah, but the total market cap of Tesla just completely dwarfs every other car manufacturer on the planet. It's like they hardly sell any cars compared to everybody else, but their market cap is just incredibly huge.
Let's see, Bikes and Bullets says, I know a little bit about Super Sport and a tiny bit about super bikes. Yeah, don't take anything to him. He doesn't know anything about bikes.
Not real ones. Right?
If you watch his channel, you know I'm just bullshitting. But Guns Coast to Coast. So he lost. No, that was Walter. It lost all of his guns in a boating accident. Guns Coast to Coast says, I agree. If you make fear porn video, it gets triple the views, sometimes 20K than if it did a canning video. Yeah, and that doesn't make sense to me because the main thing you need to know is food, because you need food, water, shelter to survive. Why? You don't need shit paper. That's just a commodity that everybody's used to.
Yeah.
Walter says, you want American bikes, get a Kawasaki. Bike says, laugh my ass off, Poison Stinger, nice rack.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, the
I was
mag.
showing my magazine titties.
That should be an alpha mag instead of a beta mag.
Right.
And then
It's
Walter
not a beta
Davis.
mag. It's a saw mag.
Oh,
Beta
saw
mag.
mag.
Only holds 100. This thing holds 150, bro.
I stand corrected. Sorry there, sir. Walter
Dude,
Davis says,
there's a big difference. That's 50 extra rounds, and it doesn't malfunction like a beta mag.
anyone who wants to go boating this summer to lose their guns in an accident is welcome aboard this summer. All right, Captain. I don't have any to lose, but if I do,
I didn't lose any guns, but I did lose a few accessories.
I only purchase BB guns, so or I only do airsoft because that's cool, and airsoft is allowed to be shown on live without being kicked off.
Maybe, I don't know.
Look at my green
Ooh,
green balls of death zombie rounds. So I'm protected. I'm well protected.
I got green tips too.
Yeah.
That was the thing when the whole green tip proposal to ban green tips was put forward by the Obama administration, ATF. I remember I could do a live stream on YouTube, and as long as the name Green Tips was in it, I would get like so many hundreds of viewers like instantly, because that was just the search term that everybody was typing in for everything. It was like if I literally did a green tip video where it was just me looking through the online ammo stores, and it got like 500 viewers or something, just me looking at stuff online and not even talking. And somebody left a comment like, "This is a really lame video." It's just you. I was like, "Yeah, I know, but you watched it, didn't you?"
I should do a video on my latest gun show purchase of my AK-47 black tips.
Black tips? Oh, that they sound evil. What
They are, because they're fully tungsten.
Well, I'll show you my black tip right here.
Oh yeah, well I'll show you my
Trickery.
black tip.
No.
You weren't here for the other day. My grandmother knocked on the door and walked in. She's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm on video chat." And she's like, "Are you doing the porn?" And I was like, "Grandma, you're in here. I'm fully clothed. I'm at the front door." And I opened the front door. She's like, "So you're not doing the porn?" It was funny. You'd had to be here for it.
Later, and we'll do some porn. Yeah.
My grandmother's crazy. She's
funny.
Well, I got for 7.62x39 for my hunting. I have a CZ527 with an 18-inch barrel and a loophole scope on it, and I've got the Fusion varmint or skiv bullets for that brass casings. But from my AK, I just shoot Tula out of that. But I can shoot the Tula out of the CZ too. I just use the more expensive skiv bullets for it.
Tell you what, these are like the most expensive rounds I ever bought. That and the orange ones, the tracers. The tracers were like $1.50 a round. These were three a round.
All right, well, guys and gals, it's been 2 hours. I have to ship packages and get to work. Thanks for everybody watching.
Thanks for the invitation.
Yes, sir. Thanks for hanging out.
Fun to do a live stream again. It's been a while for me.
All right, guys and gals, it's Poison Stinger and Hawaii Volcano Squad. Check it in. Thumbs up, thumbs down, bitch most. Place them in the comment section below. If you want to get in touch with Irish USMC Vet, the links are in the comment or the drop down box below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for Morning Muster.
See you.